Hello everyone, sorry for the slight delay.
Hello.
Hello. So let's jump right into it.
Uh,
Just
yeah,
sure that everyone has access to the minutes. I will paste the link again.
we switched to outline, right?
Yes.
Okay. But what's the temporary link was about? It's not, I mean, we're not using the temporary link, we're using that link.
Yeah, I can't get into that because my ID doesn't work because apparently you can't just use phone for it.
Ah, okay, I got it. So we use a temporary link because you, okay, now I got it. But
I can still
cannot,
log in on the EU thingy because the ID doesn't work.
okay, so
Won't even
let's,
send me emails anymore, so I can log in. So I don't know.
So the first link is for the guests, and the second link is for the board members.
okay. Actually, I cannot access both of them. It's 403. Don't have the authorization to view this page, but maybe it's me. What I can access is the no, I can access actually, but with not clicking on the link. So I mean, can we check if we are all there?
If you have a problem accessing the link, please write in the chat or say something.
The link in chat. Well, that just takes me to sign up for ID.
Did you sign up for an IG before?
Yeah, but it doesn't work.
Mine said that the token is expired.
Okay.
And I tried to access again, and then they won't send me email on login in thing.
Can you still use the first link to try and see the thing, even if you don't log in?
No, it just tells me to make a user from that link. I'm gonna try set up my computer, see if it works. But my computer doesn't really work.
If you have a problem with your PPEU IG, use the link I'm sending now. That one is for guests. You should be able to view it anyway. While we make sure everyone has access and eyes on the minutes, I will get started because I would like this to not take too long. So let's say the meeting is opened at 6:37.
Wait, did you say the new link? Because I only have one link in the board chat.
Well, you have multiple links in the conversation, in the GC conversation. But if you need the link again,
Yeah,
I will...
but in phone you don't have the chat thing in Jitsi at
So
all.
I sent the guest link on the Mattermost now.
Okay.
So meeting is opened. Would anyone like to chair? By default, I will be up for doing it. Okay. So now, unless someone protests and requests a formal vote, I will be considered the chair of the meeting.
Please share, Florian.
What do you want me to share?
No, please chair.
Ah, okay. Yeah, thank you. So next point is about the meeting secretary. Alessandro, do you confirm you have access and can help out? Taking minutes?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So then I suggest we elect Alessandro. Does anyone else want to do the job? I suppose not. So then, once again, unless someone protests and wants a formal vote, we will consider Alessandro to be minute taker. And Alessandro, you are now minute taker. So everyone, now have a look at the outline, because it's time to decide on the agenda. I will share my screen maybe, so I can show you a little trick. Screen share. Not this one, not this one, this one. Okay. So when you are on the outline, you should have a little button at the top next to the path of the document with which you can show or hide the contents for easier navigation. So now, since we are in the approval of the agenda, you can conveniently select the agenda to review all of the points. So now is the time to say if there is a late addition to the agenda or if you're fine with the points being tabled. Okay, I will take the silence as no questions to be asked. So please proceed directly into point 0.3 in casting the vote. So again, you have a convenient way to select the ongoing point and cast your vote. So for the persons who are guests, you can communicate to us by speaking in the or sending a message in the chat, and we'll write for you. Matej?
That was meaning that I'm for. That I'm voting for it.
Yeah. So I'm writing no name.
Yeah, approved against too.
Yes, me too.
Okay. So I'm writing as well, Natalie and Paul. And I think we have everyone except Alessandro.
Yeah, for some reason I lost access to the agenda. Both links are not working. I get the 403. 403 actually it's I don't know why it's on the main level. Oh, I will try opening in another browser because nothing seems to work now.
Okay. So while you solve this, I will proceed because the agenda is
Yeah.
approved formally. Now onto the approval of the last minute meetings. So I didn't get around finishing the formatting in Outline. So the link is still the PPI pad. Do you have something you'd like to point out as incorrect in the meeting minutes? Okay, so I don't think so. So we can formally decide to approve or not the minutes. And likewise for Paul, Natalie, and Matei, or Alessandro,
Yeah.
you could tell us if you're okay.
Yes, please. Unless we say no.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
okay, I wrote down all
Mathieu,
of
yes.
you.
Yeah.
I wrote down all of you for yes. Alessandro, do you want me to put you down as yes for the agenda and the minutes?
Please. Yeah, both of them, thanks. I still have this 403 error in every browser I open.
Okay. Thank you. So no decisions were taken in between the meetings. So we skip the points. The written reports, as always, you can read them beforehand or after the meeting, no problem. And let's jump right into it. The decisions without discussion. First, just to make sure that everyone checks the calendar, the next meeting by default will be planned on the 44th of April 2026, 6:30 CEST.
Oh yeah, now I hear you. Cool.
Is it still okay for everyone, or would we need to change it?
You know, it's Friday, right?
Fine for me as well.
Yeah, okay, it's fine. You sure
Okay,
it's
thanks.
24, not 26?
It's the 26th. Yes, you're right. So last Sunday of the month, basically 26th of April. Okay, so unless someone protests, I will consider this point to be closed. And now onto our discussions to take decisions. Okay, and it seems like I made a mistake here with the proposals. So this is point 2.1. Okay. No, not like this. So the issue is, given the Secretary General job description we approved in the previous board, the mandate of the Secretary General should end after the first board meeting. So on a convenient way of doing things, it's a bit harsh because the new boards cannot settle and take a good decision. And we were not prepared for it as well. So the suggestion here in point 2.1 is to reappoint formally Mab as the Secretary General so he can pursue his mandate and actions. And then in point 2.2, we will decide on a suggested rephrasing of the description so such a hiccup doesn't occur again. Anyone has a question or remark, something to say? Does
Map
this
is
look,
great. Yes, from me.
does this look good for you to vote on? Or did I miss something maybe? Okay, I will consider the silence as passive agreement. So then we can formally proceed to the voting. Thank you, Carl, for starting. And now I will call Natalie. What do you think?
Yeah, approve. I can't
Thank you.
physically.
Matej, what do you think?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I also wrote down Paul, given his previous statements. Alessandro?
Yes.
Okay, good. So now point 2.2, I will give you a little bit of time to read. So it's basically the phrasing which is highlighted here is then changed by removing the strike through part and then adding the highlighted part. The change means that a new board has to examine the Secretary General position within its 3 first meetings, and only after that, if it's not done, would the mandates be considered terminated. Do you guys have any question on this? Or does this seem good enough to be voted on already?
Yeah, I would just ask the reason why 3, but
3, my reasoning was this way you have a little bit of time to prepare, and also for the new board members to understand better what is expected, what should happen. What I wanted to avoid is to simply have like the first check-in board meeting and asking the people to say, hey, do you want to extend the mandate of a section? Or the complete opposite is like, hey guys, you don't do anything, but right now we have to dismiss the guy. Trust me. So that's why you have a little bit of a delay in the form of the 3 first meetings.
okay, then it's fine for me.
Okay,
Okay, sorry.
okay. So let's proceed to the vote then. I put down my name, and likewise I will ask Natalie, what do you think?
Yeah, approve.
Thank you. Paul?
Yes.
Thank you. Matej?
I already wrote yes, but okay. Like I can say yes as well. Yeah. I
Okay,
wrote it
thank
to the
you.
chat. Sorry if I just
I didn't
I'm
see.
from my
Okay.
phone. Yeah. Yeah. No worries.
Yeah, thank you. And then Alessandro, what do you think?
Yeah, I was yes, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay, and then the next points are the discussions, some things we need to clear out together. So the first point, I will push it back a bit because it's Mab who's supposed to be leading it. So we are going directly to 3.2 about the preliminary agenda of the mandate. What happens here is that Marietta Marietta had a look at the work plan and put all of the things we said in that work plan to stretch them out onto a calendar. So we have an idea during the year of what we should be achieving at which point. So if you like, you can take a bit of time to review it. We are in advance. The objective here is for you to be aware of it. So we can also maybe pick up some of the things laid down there. And in the coming days, I will get a closer look myself to make sure we are on track and eventually reach out to you about it. Yes, Alessandro.
Yeah, sorry, just for the sake, when will be, because I saw that there is a proposal to have a board meeting in June when there is the Pirate Academy. But I missed the dates. Maybe somebody knows it, or it's 11 and 12. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, about a potential board meeting in Brussels, there was also the discussion of the board meetup rather than meeting, but meetup so we can get social and discuss the organization and direction all together. Maybe jointly with some people from the Secretariat, because a lot of the people there are based in Brussels. So I'm writing this down.
We can, of course, also combine it with Pirate Academy somehow if enough people are there.
Yeah, of course, that would be the idea, to have as many pirates around so we can all get social together. And
Yeah, very flexible on that. We can figure something out.
yeah, and work as much as we can while doing this. Okay, does anyone else have a question about this point? About the provisional work plan or calendar extracted from that work plan?
Yeah, I would just have to thank Marietta for her job. In March, of course, we will not transition to the new banking Luxembourg for sure, right?
Yeah, it will be a bit tight, but we can hope for early April.
Yeah, let's hope for April.
All right, so going back to the meeting, points 3.2 is closed now. And now it's Mate. Mab, do you want to go back to 3.1 and growing the delegation?
No, I was the preliminary agenda of the mandate, if I can have a question.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So I noticed that a lot of this is things that directly relates to stuff that will be done by the Secretariat. Has this proposal been run by the Secretariat? Because I don't think I've seen it. Or is this something that you will send to the Secretariat for feedback?
So it can be, of course, shared, but it's not, how can I say it? Well, I mean, yeah, we will send it over. It's basically just the extract of the work plan and put on the calendar. And yeah, it will be shared for, of course.
That was not really my question.
What was your question?
Will you ask for input from the Secretariat before you make a calendar with things that will be done by the Secretariat?
Well, I guess yes, but you mean input only for the time scheduling parts, because all of this was already approved in the work plan.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
All my teams are working on their parts of the work plan with their own schedule. So all
Okay.
your dates, unless you run them by the teams, will not necessarily fit with the schedule that will actually happen. So you will have a schedule that will be disconnected from what is actually done by the secretariat.
No, yeah, it's like it's still a draft, so it will be shared, of course. It's still a draft, so we are not evolving in the dark, but it will be shared, and it's not yet the reference, if I can say it like this.
Sorry, I'm still failing to grasp. It will be shared, like you will inform the secretariat, this is what we think the schedule will look like? Or
yes, it will be shared. It's what we think the schedule will look like. And do you have any input on it? When I mean share, it's like
okay.
You can collaborate on it when it's shared.
Okay, thank you.
So then going back to point 3.1 about growing the pirate delegation. What did you want to touch on, Mab?
Yes, as you know, the Secretary General is responsible for the overseeing our relationship agreement with the Greens EFA group. And that relationship agreement allows our pirate delegation in the European Parliament to grow by absorbing other members into it. I haven't had the time to discuss this with Marketa in detail. I know she's hesitant to grow the delegation more than necessary. But from a purely strategic point of view, the resource allocation for the European Parliament's second term happens at the end of this year. So if we want to grow the delegation, then it has to happen this year. So this is basically for me to let you know that the Secretariat is looking at options for how to grow the delegation and to to allow you to give input into that. You can do it now, we can get back to it later, but I think it's necessary to start that conversation also now so that you know that it is something that is being looked at by the Secretariat.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Sum up any candidates? Anyone in mind?
Well, I have a list of 12, 14 MEPs. All of them are very unlikely. So it becomes a bit arbitrary if I give you one of the names, because that make it looks like that candidate is very likely, or likely at least. Everything is a long shot for the Pirates at this moment. So
Yeah, okay. Don't give me names, but let's discuss the list when we're in Brussels.
Absolutely. I mean, all of this will have to be done in close collaboration with Marketa and her office. So we'll definitely have time to talk about it. I just don't want to start meddling with things and then the board not being aware that that is something that is on the agenda.
Good, but 12 sounds great. I'm very happy to look at them.
Yes. So, I mean, my aim is 12. The realistic is between 0 and 2.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for the notice. And yeah, I do think you're the person most suited to help out Paul. Yes, Map?
There is one, I just realized, one tricky part. If we increase the delegation, we might, for be able to do that, we might need to amend the Common Pirate Strategy, and that would be a council meeting. Is there any room for a council meeting this year if that is necessary?
Yeah.
So this is the document. This is the document that regulates how the delegation works, and it is basically based on the assumption that everyone in that delegation come from a pirate party. because that is what we looked at when we adopted that last year. And of course, if we end up in a situation where the pirate delegation also consists of people that are not necessarily European Pirate Party members, we will have to adopt that strategy to accommodate for that. And this will also be then the possibility for our member organizations to say yes or no to any growth of the delegation, have democratic legitimacy within the organization.
Yes, Alessandro?
Yeah, I think there is time, space for that, but my question is, when are you expecting to do this map?
So it's very difficult. There is a cutoff date in December. But for example, other groups like Renew, they recruit now. So one of our potential targets joined Renew last week. And that is what sort of pushed me forward. So different groups do it differently. But the cutoff date is in December. So formally, we will have to decide, before that. And then it, of course, depends on who we end up working with and what they would expect from us. So if they want us to have a decision made in July, then we might have to rush it to get it done in July. But of course, there is the regular limit of how quickly we can call a council meeting. So we can't just, rush it overnight. So it all depends on when we find someone and what we would need to adopt to make it work with them.
Yeah, that why I was asking, because of course we can plan. For sure we will have one before the end of the year, but maybe we can plan an additional one in the middle. That's the point.
Sorry, I'm eating at the same time. I had to rush between activities. I don't think we should plan a date and set it in stone, because then, that might not be the right date and we might need to have it a month later. So I think we should be aware that we might need to call one, and then, have it online. So it's not too much hassle to do it. But I wouldn't set a date until there is a date to set it for.
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you for your notice again. Something else on this point? I suppose not. So then, Matej, if you would like to talk to us about your ID surrounding member organizations, yes?
Yes, so I just want to ask about my idea, not like to there is without any decision. So during we've had a discussion on the council meeting about it. In my opinion, the one of the problems with communication with the organization is that they are usually heavily incorporated in what's the board doing or something like in the whole organization just on the council meeting half a year. There was an idea in the chat about having like a extra chamber, and actually we have that system in the Czech Pirates where you have like the normal leadership which is doing the actual work as we do, and then you have like a broader leadership which is doing which is basically like representing the party and stuff, like they approve as the member organizations do, but they only do half a year, like two times per year, so they approve budget and stuff like that. So I was thinking if you there wouldn't be like a solution how to more incorporate the member organizations to have like an extra, like the member organizations having like regular meetings or stuff like that. And it would be more, one of my ideas is that it would be actually people uh it would be actual people per like name. They would be voted by the organization, but for example, Czechs have 5 people, they have 5 votes, so it would be 5 people, and that way the organizations could be more incorporated, and it would be actually more people knowing how the organization works. It would be more regular. And in my opinion, as a Czech pirate, it is that it's usually only the people in the board for the Czechs who are somehow incorporated like in the inside working of the PPU. This way, it would be, I think, there would be bigger impact possible from the member organizations. It's one of the, like the way I said it, it's one of the possible ways which just came to my mind. It's the whole like discussion is like, if you think that we should somehow talk about incorporating in general, or we can like talk about my way, how I just proposed it of one of the solutions, or like how you want. It's just more. It was like one of the idea which I had, which I think would incorporate more the member organizations. Yep.
Okay, thank you. So just to make sure I wrote down something which is in line with what you said. I said you would like to have the member organizations more integrated into the work of registration through member organization meetings in which they are represented by people, delegates, they directly either elect or send to us to do this. Does it sound
Yes,
like a
and they
good
would
way to
have,
put it?
yeah. Yep. And they could basically, if they would want to, they could do the stuff on the council meetings. It doesn't need to, the main council meeting is like voting the members, voting the people to the board. This is probably what should be done on the actual council meetings for 2 years. But I think some of the decisions could be done by the member organizations on those meetings. Or like, it doesn't need to be on meetings. It could be on discourse, for example. Like just like it would be like it would be like a group who would have power to do that. It doesn't need to be on the meetings. It could be done online through discourse, using the forum.
Okay, so I'm writing this addition then, that you suggest some of the items discussed in the council meetings could be and handed over to this kind of regular delegate meetings.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. So I will maybe want to react on that, but before that, Mab, please.
Yes, I had a few questions to that. What would be the difference between this and just having more frequent council meetings? The council meetings consist of delegates. They can be appointed for one meeting or for a whole year, depending on what the preference of the member organization is. So it would be the same people if the member organizations decided that they would want the same people. And if they don't want the same people, then they would be, have a turnover. But that would be the same even if they were appointed for longer, because they could step down and be replaced. So is there a difference between this idea and more regular council meetings, except for having online meetings? And the other part that I wanted to know is, what would they discuss and what would they decide?
So yes. So to the first question, yeah, it's basically council meetings. But the additional idea of mine is, I think that it shouldn't need it to be done on the council meetings. It could be done through the online forum if needed or wanted by this. And we do it in the Czech Pirates, for example. And the extra, okay, so yes, what they could do, for example, yeah, that's the thing why I wanted to discuss. Right now, most of the work does the board or the secretariat, but board has actually like the direct power to the secretariat. And I think, and that's up to discussion, what powers should be transferred to the member organizations. But in my opinion, some of those stuff could be transferred to member organizations. That's like one of the idea. And yes, like so there is like a direct responsibility for the decisions of the member organizations, and not that the board is responsible for everything, which for example with the relationship with the secretariat. Yeah. And it's up to discussion what type of task would be transferred to the meeting, to the organizations. But yeah.
Yes, Bob?
Yeah, sorry, I still didn't really get it. You said powers could be transferred from the board to the council. the council can already decide anything over the head of the board if they want to, but you would want to take things away and make the board no longer responsible and have the council responsible as a default instead, I assume. And then the question would then again be, can you give an example of any decision that you're thinking that the board is currently doing that the council should do in the future in your model?
So yeah, like I think most of these the council meetings already do, but I think it's kind of like problematic that it's done only twice a year. So that's one of the stuff. It would be more regular. It would be basically more regular council meetings. But how we work in the Czech Pirates is that the executive decisions are made by, in our case, board, and the non-executive decisions would be done by the council. For example, I don't really see I mean, it could be, for example, that in our case, the secretariat work, which we have as well, is both. Some of the decisions are basically the extra chamber is to approve that what the leadership does. I mean, that's why I said it. I'm not really sure about this idea if it would work in this case, because honestly, I don't have completely picture about how the secretariat works. I'm still trying, like I still need to learn it since I'm new here. But it was like one of the idea I had how to incorporate the member organizations for. The whole why it came to my mind is because I think that the member organizations are not included enough in the process of the organizations, so they have less information what's going on and stuff. And the whole purpose is to that they would have more information, they would have like more power, let's say. So yeah, but as I said, I'm not completely sure if this is a good idea. That's why I wanted to talk about it with the board.
I can't raise my hand, but I would like to formally ask to speak.
I will maybe hit a little pause before that. So Matej, what I wrote down as your answer is that you would like to move from an organization where the council meets twice a year to a mode of operating where they are a bit more close to the executive work and they can give approval if needed.
Yes.
Does that sound like a good way to put it?
Yes, that's, I think, yeah, how you can summarize it.
Okay, so now, Paul, if you'd like to ask your question.
Yes, just, I mean, this all sounds a lot like communist Russia, really, because it's all about process. My question really is, like, what is your goal? You want to do more communication, do I understand this correctly? And if yes, then I agree. If this is about some power transfer, then I have the same questions as the others because I don't understand.
Yeah, so the whole point is to more incorporate the member organizations in the way. I mean, we have in the Czech Pirates these kind of processes, which I think works. So that's why I came with this one specific. But I don't know if it's applicable to the PPEU. That's why I said it. I kind of don't get the comparison with the communist Russia, but yeah.
No, the communist Russia was about, we discussed process and not the goal. So if the goal is outreach, as I understand, then I would be for that. And maybe you can kind of present how the Czech Pirates are doing it. I don't know, in some kind of written form.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, the main reason for me was how to achieve the goal. But since I already came up with an idea, in my opinion, how we could achieve it, I already just said it. Yeah. Okay, I can wrote the way how the Czech Pirates work if you are interested to make better
yes,
understanding of this. Yeah.
So once again, I will hit.
For me, yes, please.
I will hit a little pause now. So obviously we'll write down and discuss this outside of the meeting. As a point of information, in the current work plan, there is already something relating to getting the member organization more involved, potentially through more regular meetings and closer cooperation with the delegates. So this is something we could tie to this. So just to say, rest assured, we can continue working on it. And now, Mab?
Yes, so the Secretariat does consultation answers that feed into European legislation. It's one of the most important parts of the organization. organization, as far as I see it. It's one improvement from the previous structure before the Secretariat. So we actually feed into the legislative process before the Commission makes proposals. In that process, we have two opportunities normally for the member organizations to give feedback into the process in the beginning and when there's a draft from the Secretariat. At an average, no member organization ever gives any feedback, and sometimes there's questions from individuals. This is all done on our discourse, and I think this would be a place where the member organizations could play a much bigger role, and it would get them involved in the policy work of the organization, which would be great. So if you can find a way to tie this to get them involved with that, I would be super happy. I will post a link to the discourse category where it's all in the chat if you want to have a look at what it looks like.
Thank you, Matej.
So how it usually works, in my opinion, with the delegates is that the delegates are chosen for the exact meeting, and there is like not a continuity. Why I said this is that I think what could make like a more impact on their cooperation is if they would be somehow appointed for a longer time, and they would have more regular work than just meeting half a year. So that was like the whole idea about the process, how the process should be done, like how the process should be done afterwards to like incorporate it. That was the that is the reasoning behind the process I set.
Okay, thank you. I wrote this down as well. Does anyone have any other remarks? If not, I would suggest to cut it now so we can go to the last point. I think everything which had to be said was said. Let me know if you would like to say something else. Okay, I will consider not. Just let me write down the last thing in the minutes. Yes, Matej?
I've just read the chat because when I was listening to people and responding, I didn't have the time. I've read that as Carl asked if it means that every council delegate ends up in RCS RBA. As MAP said, no, not necessarily. In our case, it doesn't. The executive organ would be still board, and so it would be only the board members. So the extra council, it doesn't need to be executive, so it doesn't need to be in. It would be like a different organ, which wouldn't be like executive as the board. Which board represent organizations, member organizations would represent member organizations still.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So I will now close this point and go to the last point, which is the checkout. So now it will be the time for all board members, but if possible, for the ones who are still a bit new, to say if they already feel comfortable into the board or if they are missing still some information. Basically, what I want to lay down now is that you should and you can, you always can reach out to me, or I'm quite certain to Alessandro or Carl, who have a bit more experience. If you need help with anything, I know that some of you said they would like to develop something inside of the board, some kind of little tasks. So once again, at any point, if you need a little bit of guidance or help, information, whatever, you can reach out, as I said, to me, but to some others, including MAB, for example, or the secretariats. My goal is to include you as much as possible into the work to make sure you feel good and you can how can I put it? And you can basically realize what you want to do here with us, what you expected. So I know I haven't been very micromanaging these days, mainly because I don't like it. But when you're fairly new and discover a whole big organization with a lot of information in process, that might be needed. So I will aim, including with I think Marietta and Paul, to help and make sure you guys are settled and into the and get started. I don't know how that sounds for you guys, but basically I haven't been very present with each of you, and as a collective I think we have room to improve and be a little bit more involved to deliver.
If I can.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm also one of the new members, so I understand I'm vice chair and I can help out with parliament related stuff, but obviously with board stuff, I still rely on you. One thing I see that I'm not the only one that I need help with is this ID stuff for this passkey access stuff. I think there's 3 or 4 people who are struggling with it. So if you could help me with that, I would appreciate it.
Yes, of course. So of course, for those of you who were struggling a little bit, so that will be Paul, Natalie, and Alessandro, from what I understood. We've outlined the Parrot ID. Let's make sure with MAB that it gets followed through. Natalie, do you want to speak?
Yeah, I just got it working on my computer, so I have the outline things going.
Perfect,
But
super.
I'm still running because I want to have my headphones on. So I'm running both my computer on mute, but I use my phone for the meeting. But I need the chat on the computer because it doesn't work in the phone. So it's a little bit. I need to use both to make it work. But yeah. Otherwise, it's really hard to start up when you have 15 types of apps and links and pages and whatever that you need to log into, verify who you are to only participate in the meeting. It's really awful setup to do that instead of having one place we have all the information instead of going to 19 different links and making accounts because that's horrible. It's like social media horrible. But yeah, that's my only take on it. Otherwise, I think I know kind of what we're supposed to do. Feels like we're not doing that. Also, my person that I should keep track on and talk to, they are changing that person because something about an accident and that person resigned, but they are getting a new one and Mab will tell me who to talk to and get information to the board later.
Yeah, okay, thank you for this. I'm glad it's getting to work slowly. One of the objective of the year is to make the operation easier, also through our IT stuff. So yeah, very sorry for the inconvenience, but I will ask you to bear with us, and we will definitely try to improve. So after Natalie, I think it was Mab.
Yes. Sorry, to respond to the last one, please don't try to help each other with the IT stuff, and don't ask me for help with IT stuff. At help.europeanpirates.eu, there's an email address to the IT team. Any IT problem, always send them an email. It's a description in that page how to do it. Always email them with an IT problem and do it way before you think you need to do it. As soon as you find any difficulties, just email them, because then there's a ticket created. And not only will they help you, but they will also keep track of what is problematic for a lot of people. If you manage to wing it somehow and someone helps you, no one else knows that there is a problem. But by sending a ticket to the IT people, in the long run, we will improve our processes. The idea with the PPEU ID is to have a single login for all the tools we're using. Unfortunately, not all tools allow us to do that, but we're hoping to go in that direction. So that will be the one login that you definitely need to sort out, because in the long run, more and more things will fall under that. But whenever you have an IT problem, email the IT team at support@europeanpirates.eu, and they will help you. There will be a ticket created, they will solve your problem, and they will let you know. And you can let them know if it's solved, or you can harass them for as long as you want, back and forth, until it works for you. They have all the patience in the world. They're great people. Use them for IT support. That is why we have them. And if they get overwhelmed, we will recruit more people into that IT team. So always go to the IT team for help with any technical issues, especially access to Outline, access to PPEU ID, anything related to discourse or Mattermost, they can help you.
Yeah, I just want maybe to underline that having this information is in itself slightly difficult even for new people. I remember that the IT team pinned it onto the IT section of the Mattermost, but for a newbie, I completely understand how confusing it can be. Alessandro?
No, Mab basically already told mostly everything that I should say, but just to underline that it's I don't have any issue. The thing is that this is my IP. I will follow them. Apart from that, everything is fine.
Okay, thank you, Matej.
So I was appointed to the communications. Since I'm going to talk about my responsibilities. But since I think the communications is very connected to outreach, I am gonna will be interested in the outreach. I already talked about MAP, about it, how to do it, even though I'm not appointed directly. And so about the communications, didn't communicate yet about it with the communications, but I would want to definitely at least ensure that there is an Instagram page, which we have, because currently we don't have. And Instagram, we mostly aim to young people, I would say. At least most of the pirate party which are successful do. So Instagram is definitely the main. And the other stuff about the outreach in general, I'm in communications with MAP about it currently, because it's not set in stone yet. But I've communicated with the Czech leadership, and there is possible that there could be in January a conference hosted by the Pirate Institute, which would cover it. It would be after the Czech forum, or like this like a something like council meeting where there would be a lot of Czech pirates. It would be done the day after, so they would be the Czech pirates would be encouraged to stay for the conference, and we would have like a free space to invite the guests. And how would we want to do it, etc., etc. It would be in our Pirate Institute would pay for it, and the Czech Pirate Party would promote it to the Czech Pirate Party members.
Okay, goodbye, Alessandro. Thank you for coming. Map, you want to have a few words, and then I will conclude. But we have to, we have to wrap it up.
Sorry, I just wanted to respond to that. Matej, what in the work plan in the communication team needs an Instagram? Like, what is the purpose you're trying to fill with an Instagram that we have decided is a purpose for the communication team this year?
Okay, so I will cut it short now. It's pointless to discuss Instagram in the meeting. We will set things straight in the Mattermost, no problem. I will also get involved. Just want to say that, of course, it's important to talk to the right people to get problems solved, but at any time, at any point, as I could be considered to some extent the person responsible for you in the board, don't hesitate to reach out to me about your problems. I'm the one who has a lot of knowledge as well, so I will be able to direct you to the correct place. I will start to compile some of the links and information to place it conveniently in the outline. And once again, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And I'm really grateful for your trust as well. Sorry for cutting short to the discussion, but we are going slightly overboard, and it's my task to make sure we don't. So if that's okay by you, we will continue touching on the communication stuff internally, outside of the meeting. Does that sound okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you guys have something very urgent you need to say? If not, then I will declare the meeting to be closed at 7:32 Central European Time. Thanks a lot for coming. Thanks a lot for telling us what your problems were.